Welcome in to the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview, proudly presented by Arkansas Tech University, D3 Auto Sales, and Metcalf Trucking and Trailer Repair. Today we sit down with Batesville Pioneers head coach Ryan Morrow. This Pigskin Preview is sponsored by First Community Bank.
So, Coach Mo, what are your expectations for the upcoming season?
Well, first off, Kendall, I'm excited that you're here doing this interview. And my expectations for Pioneer football will never change. As long as I'm the head football coach here at Batesville, I'm always going to have the expectations that we're going to compete for a conference championship and we're going to play in the state playoffs. And those are always going to be our expectations, and those are always going to be where we're going to set the bar. And I think that this group, with the seniors that we got coming up, we're going to be able to attack and get those goals.
Yes, sir. Well, speaking of your conference, you don't have to name them all, but which teams are you preparing for?
Well, anytime you talk Batesville, you always talk win as well. They're always, if you want to say we got a rival, it always seems we play each other on homecoming. Whether it's their homecoming or our homecoming, it's always one of those middle of October games. And last year we had a great game and beat them here. And I bet you we're playing their homecoming next year, and that's the way we want it. So always that one, Valley View, and we've got some new people coming into the conference. Greene County Tech's been in the conference before, but Harding Academy's coming from 4A. They're a private school coming in to the conference here, and they'll be competitive as well.
Well, what are the most rewarding aspects of coaching the team?
Number one, well, like I told the kids the other day, I said my favorite day of the year is graduation. Whenever I get to go around and I'm like a kid and I'm going around trying to find all our kids that graduated and get to hug them and tell them I love them, tell them thank you for everything that they did, and just kind of reliving everything from when they came up in 9th grade all the way to graduation. And by the end of the night, I'm crying like a little girl out there.
So your team, do you encourage them connecting with the community and everybody in it?
Yeah, I said earlier our two goals for football-wise, their third goal is always to be a team that this town and community can be proud of. And for us to do that, we're going to have to get out in the community. We're going to have to go do some community service type of things. In the past, we've helped build a house with the Habitat for Humanity. We've went out and the kids have got hammers and nails and put together studs and stuff like that. We've gone and did the food drive stuff for Christmas Brings Hope. But no, we encourage that a bunch. The kids getting out in the community and being seen. When
you're in the locker room, like, how do you approach your team unity? How do they get along?
One thing, we always tell them, I said, hey, you might not be friends with everybody on the team because it's going to be hard. There's 70-something kids on the team. You're not going to be friends with everybody, but you're going to respect everybody. And, that's a big thing is respect. And, you can't say, this and that happens in the locker room. At the end of the day, we're all Pioneers. Whether, once we walk off the field and we come back, you might have got into a scuffle out at practice with somebody. I remember whenever I was in high school here, I couldn't drive on campus for other reasons, but I had to get a ride home from my buddy, and we got in a little pushing match out of practice, and I said, hey, you're still going to give me a ride home after practice, right? So, I still needed a ride home. So at the end of the day, we're all Pioneers, and, we all got to respect each other.
Well, what changes, if you made any, did you take to the team strategy or the style of play?
Well, there's always things that are going to evolve. The big thing is, what can you do with the hand that you're dealt and the players that you have? Some groups have more skilled players. Some groups have more linemen. Some groups have, the whole everything together, and you can do a lot more. Whenever you get the ball from the eye and you move it back to the gun and the pistol, we're going to do some more things like that and be able to run the quarterback a little bit more and be able to throw the ball out of the backfield a little bit more to, the tailbacks, the fullbacks, the receivers going in motion and just doing more things and evolve. But the base of Pioneer football is, we're going to be the most physical football team on the field. When it comes down to it, football is a physical game. And, whether you run this offense or that offense, you better be physical. And we're always going to instill that physicality. And, but it's ever evolving.
Yeah, our coaches used to tell us it's hit or be hit, kill or be killed. They're coming for you.
The boogeyman is out there. That's the term I use.
It's out to get
I
you.
say, hey, quarterbacks, don't hold that ball too long because the boogeyman is coming.
So, how do you define success for your team?
Success. This was one of those questions I got when I got the job. Coach, what is a success? A success for me is in 5 or 10 years when kids come back and they say, hey, Coach, hey, here's my wife, here's my kids, here's what I'm doing in life. That's a success. Yes, we all want to win games, and we're going to prioritize winning. But success to me and success to our program is transforming these kids into great young men. And our main goal is obviously we're going to win some games, but we're going to transfer kids into boys, and we're going to try to get them in the real world and turn them in and stack some good foundation on them before they get out there.
Do you have any really outstanding players that you would like to show?
That are currently on the team or in college or coming back this year? Yeah, we've got some seniors coming back that I'm really excited about. Anytime we talk about, the team or the preview of the team, we always talk about the seniors because, like I tell them, I said, we're going to go as far as you guys want us to go. So, some of the senior leaders that we're going to have that have already stepping up in a big way. Number one is Jacob Pollitt. He, he's kind of Iron Man for us last year. He had to play offense, defense, some special teams, had to play both sides. This year, hopefully we can limit him on offense a little bit because we got Kale coming back. But Jacob, he's one of those kids that the kids look up to him. All the other players, hey, what's Jacob doing? And that's what a leader is. You don't have to be a verbal guy. A lot of things you can be one of those guys that, leads by example. And Jacob leads by example, and he has a big voice in the locker room. So I expect him to have a great year. Kale also mentioned he's coming back off an injury. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. I call him the bull. So he plays fullback for us, and he's going to do a great job opening up some holes for our tailbacks. Those are the two seniors that come to mind first, being leaders. Talon Forey's another one. He started for us at DB. He's going to play a little receiver as well this year. Noah Kelly, he's about 6'2", 230-ish, plays tight end for us. He can catch the ball a little bit, but like all tight ends, I was a tight end here. You better block first. And he likes to block. And I can get after him a little bit. I can get after those tight ends because that's what I played. I said, don't cry to me about you not catching no pass. I said, I only caught 5 passes the whole time I was here. I said, but, he's doing a great job. And then we've got some underclassmen, but always, like I'm talking, when it's the seniors year, those are the guys that we're talking about. We've got some great juniors, our quarterback, our running back. We've got some skilled kids that are juniors. We've got some great sophomores coming up. But the main focus right now, the ones I want to talk about are the seniors. And it's their year. It's their time to lead the team. And, like I said, those juniors and sophomores, they're going to be great players as well. We got probably about 15-something seniors that are on the team right now.
Well, who are some players that you're going to be missing like that, or graduating or moving somewhere? Or
you always the kids that graduate. I wrote them all a letter. A lot of them afterwards. Once a pioneer, always a pioneer. So hey, always come back in here. And obviously the 4 linebackers from last year will be missed. A lot of them were 2-3 year starters. Bo Baxter, Mike Townsley, Connor Forey, and Ty Fairchild. Those kids, they all started as juniors at least, and Mike started as a sophomore.
From what I know, Mike Townsley was the number 2 linebacker in the state at some point.
Oh, yeah. No, number of tackles as a junior. I mean, all the way up until second round of the playoffs, whenever, we played, he was the number 2 leading tackler in the state. So, and then as a senior, same thing. I mean, fantastic. He'll be definitely missed, but he'll be around for sure.
I remember Bo Baxter, he was a big contributor in the Forest City game.
Oh, yeah. He carried the ball a little bit. He had a pick, he had a bunch of tackles. I believe he had a sack. I mean, he's all around. I call Bo the captain. That's what I called him. That's what I'll call him till every time I see him. He's the captain. And just between me and him, he knows what that means, but he was definitely the captain last year.
Well, how would you say that your team contributes in the school spirit? Like, how do you want them to act in the classroom and outside of when you're watching them?
Well, one thing that we do, and I'm sure everybody does this, but we have pop quizzes down in football, Kendall. And what that is, every so often, I will check everybody's grades, and I'll just walk out in the locker room, and I'll have a list of names. So, all right, pop quiz, boys. Hope you all studied. And if anybody's got a D or an F, guess what, Kendall? They got to do a little extra with me after practice. So grades are really important. We're going to stay on top of those. The biggest thing is turning in missing assignments, not having a bunch of things just sitting in there and not being done. So we try to do our best to make sure to stay on top of them with their missing grades. School spirit, I mean, we do all kinds of things to try to promote pride. That's what I call pioneer pride. And, the cool thing about our senior high staff and our junior high staff, everybody is a pioneer, which I mean that everybody graduated from here or they married into it. So Coach Norwood, he married a pioneer, so he married into it. Everybody else on a senior high staff graduated and played here. So it's pretty neat.
Okay. So speaking of your staff, who is your offensive coordinator?
You're looking at it.
Oh, well, who's your defensive coordinator?
Coach Nick Palazzi.
How long has he been there?
Coach Palazzi has been here. This will be his 3rd year, and this will be his 1st year as the defensive coordinator, but he has called defense before in his career. And I also coached with Nick at Lyon College for 5 years. So, and we went to school together. He was a sophomore whenever I was a senior. So
y'all are close.
We know each other.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So how do you plan to handle different in-game situations and challenges?
Well, a lot of things during the game. So if it's defensive-wise, I trust Nick with my job, Coach Palazzi. And, if there's something to be done on defense, I might have a suggestion or two. But for the most part, I hired Nick, Coach Palazzi, to do that job, and I trust him with my job to do right. When it comes to offense, like I said, you asked who's offensive coordinator. I call the plays. Coach Norwood, myself, Coach Wynn, we do a lot of talking, obviously, during the game, whether it's, hey, check this backside end on this, hey, they're changing the fronts, they're rolling to certain coverages. But for the most part, when we do things during the game, the linemen will go sit after each drive with Coach Wynn on the sideline, and they'll go over slight changes, whether it's, we're going to block a play a little bit different because the angles are a little bit better against this front, or, with the quarterback, hey, we're going to run these concepts instead of these because of the coverage that we're getting. So those are just in-game, small, minor adjustments, and then at halftime we do them all together. So,
do you have any specific, expectations on how far you want them to go into the playoffs? Or
my number one goal, Kendall, right now is the Pioneers getting better every day. And if the Pioneers get better every single day, we will go as far as those seniors want us to go. But we have to take care of the Pioneers. We can't worry about anybody else.
Yes, sir. So if you had one word to describe your Pioneers, what would that word?
Pride.
We'd like to thank the Batesville School District and the Batesville High School East Lab for their contributions on this video. Thanks again for joining us on the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Arkansas Sports Network on YouTube to catch more previews and all the latest updates on your favorite teams.